Alright, guys, what is going on? My name is Joe, aka Cap.
I'm Dom, not Mysterio.
Backlash.
And I'm Francis. And this past weekend, we were all witness to one of the most intense, brutal, downright horrendous bloodbaths of battle, the likes of which is only seen once in a generation, scarring not only those who were there to witness it, but the very souls of the combatants themselves. I'm, of course, talking about the rap beef between Kendrick Lamar and Drake. Like, oh my God, guys. And I thought I knew hatred. Like, holy
Oh
shit.
my God. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that is some crazy shit.
I was thinking of the Cody match.
Oh, that too. Oh, yeah, by the way, Backlash happened too. But
I could have swore we were a wrestling podcast.
We are.
Hey, HBK is giving them both a chance to air it out in the ring. So
That's true.
That
He
is
did
true.
release that on
That is
Twitter.
true.
Yeah. Which, oh my
Which
God,
is
I
posted-
didn't know. I didn't know.
Which is
HBK
posted
like rap
on our
music.
Instagram, and you can view more on Shawn Michaels' page.
Okay, Kendrick versus Drake, WrestleMania 41, tables, ladders, and chairs match.
Kendrick.
Yep.
I am fucking there.
Kendrick.
Signed, sealed, deliver.
No, I'm telling you, it's Kendrick.
You're saying Kendrick's gonna do a fucking 450 splash onto Drake through 5 tables?
Oh, absolutely. But enough about WrestleMania 41. We're here to talk about Backlash. Backlash was this past weekend. It was an absolutely phenomenal show. Almost entirely, well, not entirely, but definitely had a lot to do with the French crowd themselves. Guys, I'm going to be so honest with you. This is one of the hottest crowds I think I have ever seen for a show.
Yeah, they were absolutely phenomenal. They you couldn't stop them. They were just electric the whole night.
They were shaking the Steadicam. They were so loud,
Yeah.
they were shaking the Steadicam. It's a level... It's a level of energy you just don't see in the States.
No.
Yeah, it's
No.
for people in the European countries. You
And
obviously see this
States
a lot in
crowds have
soccer.
been.
You
States
see this
crowds
a
have
lot
been
in
super. Oh, I'm sorry.
you see this a lot in soccer, definitely in Europe. But like, just witness it in WWE matches. Like, even the one matches that were like cards that were really boring, the fans just made it like insanely good.
And States crowds have been nuclear ever since Triple H took over. So that's actually really saying something.
It is
Yeah,
really
right?
saying something. I do like this more international approach they're taking. You know, we got Backlash this year. Backlash last year in Puerto Rico was absolutely phenomenal. That crowd was fantastic. You think back to Money in the Bank last year in London, another incredibly hot crowd. Australia for Elimination Chamber. It was every time they go overseas, it's like crowds find new ways to top themselves.
Well, see, like, here's my thing, like, because you know the here in the States we're kind of spoiled when it comes to wrestling. You know, we get it 3 times, 5 times a week. You know, they travel the country. You know, we live in the Northeast and they're here all the fucking time. Like, you know, we don't have to wait long for a show. And then when, like in Europe, they're lucky if they get a show a year, depending on where they are in Europe. You know, and 9 times out of 10 it's in the UK. So, but the crowd was just insane. The atmosphere was fantastic.
And you know what? You know what I loved.
They made Backlash feel like WrestleMania.
You know what I loved especially about this is the fact that last night, and I had seen a couple of posts about it online on Instagram and stuff like that. It wasn't a show that was completely free of like botches or anything like that. There were 1 or 2 here or there, but to be honest with you,
Yeah.
But usually you would expect people to just be like hounding on the list of botches that occur during a show. This crowd could not give a shit less.
Yeah, for real.
Couldn't
They were
care
just so
less.
happy to be there.
They were so happy to be there, man, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing, man. Beautiful thing. But we are going.
I love that. I love that Triple H is like really getting into the European market with WWE.
Yeah, it's. I mean, apparently it's an untapped gold mine. So,
Oh, it really is.
but anyway, let's dive into this review of the pay-per-view itself. Dom, I believe you have not only the card, but our predictions as well, the prediction game, which we haven't come up with a cooler name for yet, but eventually we will.
I'm sure we'll figure something out, but yes, I do. I have it right here. So before we get into the breakdowns, I will go over the score. In last place, surprise, surprise, it's Francis with 4 points.
Ah,
Oh,
Tied for second is Captain Scott, making with 5 points, making me the victor with 6 points.
yes, congratulations, Dom.
I would like to add the notion of predicting who's going to get what pin in a lot of people matches should be banned, because that's the only reason.
What are you talking about?
Because it's kind of like
tag matches.
no, because most of the time it's awfully obvious. Like those matches are the most obvious when it's multiple people.
All right, so then why didn't you do it?
I don't know.
Because you're just salty. That's why. Don't be
But I
salty
did.
because you
Yeah.
lost.
Hey, I got a perfect score, so I'm fine. My perfect streak has started with one pay-per-view so far. Let's see if I can get it
Anyway.
with Royal Rumble.
Oh god.
So we did make a little bit of a boo-boo when it came to our match card on the last episode. We did include some matches that were going to be on SmackDown, that were on SmackDown the night before. So we're just going to overlook those for now, and we're going to
That's
get
fair.
straight into the matches that happened. So first match we had Kevin Owens and RKO and Randy Orton versus Solo and Tama Tonga, aka the Bloodline. We all predicted that the Bloodline would win. We did make some bonus bets. Francis said that Tama Tonga was going to get the pin, which he did not. Solo did. Scott and Cap predicted that Jacob Fatu was going to debut. You guys were close.
Close. We got the
We
wrong
did
Samoan.
get a debut. We got
I
a
think he
Samoan
probably
debut.
still is going. He's probably still going to debut. They're gonna have 4 people.
Well,
Yeah. He's
didn't
going
debut in that
to.
match.
But
Yeah.
But we did see the debut of Tongaloa. Tonga's
All right.
brother.
so let's talk about this match, because in my mind, by the way, right before the match started, it was turned into a street fight, which I absolutely loved the added level of extreme put into it. But before we get into the obvious topic here, we have our residential weeb, Francis, right here, and he is going to give us a bit of a history of Mr. Tongaloa, because for those of you who don't know, Tongaloa is the brother of Tama Tonga, well-known tag team over at New Japan called the Gorillas of Destiny. Francis, give us that history.
It's not the warfare. Yo, we aim to battle. Yo, we aim to kill. Yo, that WWE better give them their old theme song from New Japan if they can. They let Cody keep this theme song. All right, yes. Fuck you, Scott. I'm having fun right now. Anyway, Tama Tonga and Tongaloa, like Tappan said earlier, had tag team for several years in New Japan Pro Wrestling under the team name the Gorillas of Destiny. They were trained by none other than the Dudley Boys themselves, and they are a record 7-time IWGP Tag Team Champions. They are also the sons of the legendary batshit insane Tongan powerhouse, Tonga. I feel like I'm about to pronounce this wrong. Fifita, you may know him better as Haku.
I was going to say, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, their dad is Haku. That's why they're batshit fucking crazy. And they are one of the best ever tag teams in the history of New Japan. Tama, I believe, is a founding member of the Bullet Club and a former never open weight champion. Like Cap said earlier, we were all expecting Jacob Fatu to show up instead of Tongaloa. And I would just go like, yeah, but like wouldn't be if they got Tonga Loa instead. And then he actually fucking showed up, and my soul ascended for a minute. Which is funny because, believe it or not, you guys, Tonga Loa was actually in WWE before.
He was.
Like
I actually did not know about this until I saw it online, but go ahead, Francis.
Like a long ass time ago.
In a galaxy far, far away.
May the 4th be with you.
It's the 6th.
Hey, the 6th.
A long ass time ago in NXT, he was known as Donnie Marlowe before being repackaged as Agent T. Shock of all shocks, neither of those got over. And then he just went to Japan, painted his face, and started killing people, cursing his lungs out.
He was also another small factoid. I didn't realize this until I saw it on Instagram as well. For anybody who is a fan of TNA, during the I want to say like early 2010s, there was a tag team. There was a faction there called The Rising.
Metal Gear Rising?
Nope, just The Rising. And when I tell you the star power this faction had, guys, it is fucking insane. The team consisted of Tonga Loa, Drew McIntyre, at that point, Drew Galloway,
Andrew McLean Galloway the 4th.
and Eli Drake, also known as L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
So, just a shocking little faction there of some actually fucking insane talent, man. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah, anyway, let's talk about this, guys. New Samoan dropped. How are we feeling about this?
Tongan, actually.
I mean, it wasn't the first we thought, but it's a great addition.
Yeah.
And knowing that it's most likely going to get turned on Roman when he comes back.
Oh, it's absolutely getting turned on.
And they're going to get some really big heat. And it's not going to be the level of Dom Mysterio, but they're going to get some major heat, like in that regard.
You're absolutely right, Scott. GOD can only ever be heels.
Yeah.
I'm letting you guys know that right now.
Yeah, no.
Like, even if and when they break away from the bloodline and do their own thing, they're going to be heels.
Yeah, no, you can't call yourselves Gorillas of Destiny and be faces. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys. First of all, the match in itself was insane. I absolutely loved the match itself. The spot with Kevin Owens delivering a brainbuster on a pile of chairs from the top rope to Tama Tonga.
Fucking nuts.
My dear God, can we just talk about how insane of a thing it is that the brainbuster is just like a mainstay move now from certain people? After being
it's
banned,
almost like a wrestler is booking this now.
After being banned for like years, the brainbuster was banned. And now, all of a sudden, man, it is back, and it is providing some of the craziest spots I think I've ever seen.
It's because there were some moves that didn't really need to get banned. They just needed to be with the wrestler who's can do it the safest.
How long until they unban Randy's punt to the head?
Not long.
That. I mean, I feel like he's done that before recently.
We're getting very quickly to a point where he is going to punt somebody in the head.
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked. It would be KO.
It might be KO.
He's a major name, and Randy Orton usually doesn't do that with mid-card talent. Yeah.
Is he gonna bark like he did to that one Logan Paul friend, like he did at Mania? Because if he did, that would be pitch black comedy. I would laugh. I would laugh if he did just right before he just fucking puts his boot mark on this guy's face, just dead.
No, it It was crazy, man. It's good, and people are gonna pop when he inevitably does kick someone in the head. Like,
Which
the
again
pop
will
is gonna
probably
be
be KO.
insane. It might be KO. I feel like at this point it's just a level of who's gonna betray who at this point, because one of you
Randy's gonna
is going to
betray
betray the other. It's just a
And
matter
then
of
we're going to get a KO title run
could be.
after the feud.
Anyway, I mean, let's
moving on to the next match. We have the women's tag team title match. The Kabuki Warriors versus Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. Don't believe they have a team name yet, but they probably should because they are, in fact, the new WWE Women's Tag Champions.
Yep.
they are.
We had Francis and Cap bet on the Kabuki Warriors because, Francis can't think with his brain when it comes to them.
Don't you fucking judge me.
Nah. And then myself and Scott predicted that Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair were going to win. But this is what got me the win over Scott.
You can't pick the opposing. You're like, come on. I mean, Francis, I understand because he's kind of stupid. But Cap, come on. You could have obviously seen that. You could have obviously not seen them losing this match.
I thought they were to be fair. I thought they were going to go with Bianca betraying Jade, which to be fair,
as much as I would want Jade to be a solo competitor instead of going into the tag team for a bit, I knew that we were going to put them on that. Like,
I mean, to be fair, I still
bring that title back for the time being.
To be completely honest, I still think it's going to happen. She is going to betray her. I still think that's going to happen.
Jade's going to betray her. Bianca can't go heel. It's just like a
it doesn't seem natural.
It doesn't make sense.
Jade can work heel very easily.
That's why Bobby Lashley's group isn't heel.
A woman who calls herself the EST of WWE for how many years now? All of a sudden all of this hype on a woman that just came in. You're telling me you're not going to feel like your spotlight's being stolen here?
Again, it's like Randy and KO. Someone's going to shoot someone in the back.
Well,
with a harpoon gun.
Look, I thought they were going to go with the, I thought we were going to, not take the obvious route here, but, they did. And to be honest with you, I'm not mad about it. Not mad about it. I'm obviously very happy to see.
Do you want me to get you mad about it? I have something that I can say to get you mad about it.
You can try.
Okay. Now it is officially proven that Logan Paul is the only title holder since before WrestleMania.
Oh. Got you there, Cap.
Oh shit. To be fair, that title win might have got me the win at WrestleMania for the predictions.
Wow, it's almost like you own him or something.
Shut up, Francis. Shut your mouth.
The one time Cap's going to pick him to win his title match, that's when he's going to lose and he's going to go after the main event.
No, right. Logan. The moment Cap says something nice about Logan Paul, that's when his career enters a downward spiral.
I have been saying nice things about him. What are you talking about?
Begrudgingly.
What? I gotta mean it? Like,
it would be a lot cooler if you did.
I wasn't lying. I truly did think he was gonna get like nuclear level heat if he pinned Randy Orton. Is that not the goal of him as a heel?
Yeah, but like you.
Well, there you go. So stop your fucking complaining.
Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair is that title's gonna. That title's actually gonna start getting some fame now.
Listen,
it's not gonna be like
definitely gonna elevate the women's tag titles.
I mean, listen, anything positive that can happen.
Never reached, and it's not that.
Literally anything positive that can happen to those titles, is I consider to be an upgrade. Anything positive you can do at those championships, I think you should be doing it. Giving it to somebody with the nuclear level of popularity that Jade has right now, I think can only help these titles, and I really want to see these titles start meaning something. And keep in mind one thing, Jade can be on both shows now. The both of them can be on both shows now.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I guess.
But overall, a good match.
Yeah,
a good match, I would say.
Title that's not
not restricted.
What'd you call it? It's not like exclusive to one specific brand.
No.
Brand exclusive. There you go.
No, it's not. But overall, yeah, I would say it was a good match. I would say it was a very good match. This was, I can't remember what the exact thing was, but there was a bit of a botch in the match. But again, the crowd was so hot, you couldn't tell the difference.
Yeah, honestly, like I didn't even notice if that was a thing.
I only noticed because I heard like Wrestle talk about it for like a nanosecond.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, they had the best idea to have Kyrie and Asuka, not like job for them, but like basically job for them, because the way those two women sell is absolutely fantastic. So anything Jade and Bianca does is like devastating in its own right, but having Asuka and Kyrie sell it the way they did made it look 10 times more devastating.
I agree.
Like everything looked amazing. The way it was done, everything was great.
I agree.
But yes, new women's tag champs. Hopefully, we see the elevation of the women's tag team titles. Because they have really not done anything since. Ironically, I think the last tag team that really made those belts seem like something was the Iconics.
I was about to ask if it were the Iconics.
Now,
yeah, they were. They did sell it a lot. They were around a lot.
They did.
Because they were like the only real women's tag team.
But yeah, no. This only helps that title, and anything you can do to help that title at this point, I'm all for it.
Yeah, really.
So moving on to the next match, Dom, what we got?
You got the next match is the women's championship match. Bayley versus Naomi versus Tiffany Stratton. We all, this was a very one-sided prediction for most of the show. We all picked Bayley. Scott predicted a Naomi heel turn, which we did not see. And Cap got a bonus point here because he predicted that Naomi would eat the pin.
So
nice.
But another stellar match.
Fantastic.
Tiffany Stratton, is obviously the heel in the match, so she does it well. She's a phenomenal heel.
Yeah, she moves up
pulls it off very well. She's one of the most the fastest up and coming superstars I've seen in a very long time, in my opinion. Like, she flew through NXT, flew through the main roster. It's only up from here. It's only a matter of time before she's a world champion.
She was so popular, she didn't really have to wrestle that much. She appeared for a couple of battle royals, and then bam, title match. It was crazy.
My point exactly.
Yeah, and she's definitely going to be here for a bit.
You guys think she's going to be the one to dethrone Bayley?
I don't know about that.
Maybe
think down the line, but not anytime soon.
I'm gonna be so honest with you. Money in the Bank is not too far off. If Liv Morgan doesn't win the briefcase, it's gonna be Tiffany Stratton.
Maybe, yeah.
I'm just saying it right
Unless
now.
Jade Cargill's in it.
If it is not Liv Morgan, it is Tiffany Stratton. And I say that even if Jade is in the match.
Can't imagine Liv winning again.
I don't want Liv
really?
to win again.
I could.
Unless nobody wins and Alexa comes out, and here comes the reveal of that faction.
Wyatt Six.
Wyatt Six.
Which has recently been having a big mental picture in people's brains of who's going to be in it. Which, to be honest, some of them sound really. I can't wait for the characters that they come up with for them.
It's gonna be fun. But getting back to this triple
But
threat. I thought this was a great match, man. You know, I thought
I always love the triple threat match.
When it comes to Tiffany in particular, I mean the girl has star written all over her. She's got the athleticism, she's got the look, she's got the character. Like, this girl is going places. This girl is going places in this company, man.
You had Naomi and Bailey have the chemistry together, so it kind of helped that point.
Absolutely,
because she was somewhat new to them.
Absolutely, man. But overall, it was a phenomenal match. It was a great match, and that's pretty much all I could say about it. Francis, you've been relatively quiet, man. What do you think of this match?
I liked it.
Wow, well, great commentary.
Great commentary. This is why we have you on the show, Francis.
You have me on the show to fucking reference 80s movies and anime, and
No. We have you on the show to give out your expression. It doesn't matter if what you say is the same. Just say it and reword it. It sounds good. They do it all the time.
No, guys, be honest.
And
we had him on the show because it was a Make-A-Wish thing. Like,
I wanted to meet
Spider-Man.
Instead, I'm with these fucking geeks. Thanks for nothing, St. Vincent.
I gave you a platform.
Yeah, but you're not Spider-Man, so fuck off.
So
anyway,
what do you saw the match.
It was really good.
it's great.
Okay. Anyway, moving on. Done. Next match, please.
What do we got next, fellas?
Anyway,
what do we got next?
Moving on to the next match. Sorry. We had Damian Priest versus main event Jey Uso.
Yeet.
Phenomenal match, honestly.
Who you can see that Francis is a big. By the way, folks, as you could see, Francis is a big fan of Jey Uso, which you could see on our TikTok page. The Push Wrestling. We had you could see just how big of a Jey Uso fan Francis is. If you couldn't tell by the multiple times he's been yeeting while I've been doing this plug to our TikTok, please make sure to follow us at the Push Wrestling. Anyway, let's talk about this match, boys.
And to reference the crowd, it's oh my god! It was like the wave. It was like the first time the wave was invented for baseball, and like that's what it was like. It was you could see the unison. I don't think there was one person that wasn't doing it.
You think they say yeet in France? It doesn't matter. They do now.
Probably.
Maybe.
I can't imagine there's a French word for yeet.
I can't imagine that there is, but it'd be funny.
Because it's not even technically an English word. So
how about les yeets?
How about you're fired?
How about not your decisions?
That ending that we had when he did the choke slam from the top rope.
Oh yeah, South of Heaven.
That was phenomenal.
Yeah, that was.
But the main thing that I took away from this match was I think this might be the beginning of a Damian Priest face turn.
It seems like it. I thought it was interesting that after the match he stopped the post match beatdown.
Yeah,
I thought that was interesting.
That's enough. Blah blah blah.
No,
like I don't know if it was only because it was Jay and like he cut that promo where he was like, we're buddies, like we're guys, and this and that kind of thing. Or if it's just like he's starting to turn face because like as we've seen, the Judgment Day is in like a weird position, in my opinion. Like they're not like they're heels. They're heels, but they're so over that they kind of are almost forced to work face.
I don't
think
think
it's.
I don't think that.
Do you think it's going to be Damian that turns like a new type, a different, like darker into heel, and it's for the time being while Rhea is out, it's the other group like Dom, JD, and Finn that are all face for a short period.
So here's the thing. I think I agree with Dom. To be honest with you,
yeah.
Listen,
Damian's going to turn face, and then JD and Finn are gonna be heels, and like maybe Dom, but like Dom's kind of stuck being a heel because everyone hates him anyway.
Yeah, he's kind of. It's going to take a lot for him to ever turn face again, but.
Well, first he needs to get kayfabe dumped by Rhea, and then he needs to apologize by his dad. Apologize to his dad.
You know what I thought of when it comes to Dom's face turn. To be honest with you guys, I think the only way you can turn him face and get him to like reconcile with his father is you just have a psychopath gunning after him. Think like don't think like a carrying cross. Think Killer Cross.
Or
just somebody
Howdy.
Torturing him
maybe,
in a match.
Not Uncle Howdy. What about
Francis? What
Dexter
the fuck did
Loomis?
you just call?
Sorry, Uncle Howdy. I got my reference. It's a reference to in Exorcist. It was Captain Howdy. Bray was a huge horror fan. That's where he got it from. Uncle Howdy. My bad.
Anyway, moving on.
What about Dexter? Because he might be in the faction.
I think it just has to be somebody who's crazy enough to make everything. Yeah, actually, you don't even need like somebody crazy. You just need somebody to just torture him throughout a match.
Obliterate this dude.
Like just obliterate him, make him torture.
We know we already have that going right now with Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan's
no, I mean physical torture.
I think Liv Morgan's gonna be the reason kayfabe breaks up with Rhea Ripley.
True. But
no, he's gonna go from a goth mommy to a fucking mall brat. That's gonna make people hate him even more.
Hello, welcome to the reason they're doing it.
I thought we were talking about how to make him not hated anymore.
No, I'm talking about that. You guys changed the subject to something completely different.
Oh God! So yeah, no. Liv wins the new custody of Dominic match.
Possibly, but anyway.
Oh my God! That's the main event of WrestleMania 41.
Oh my God!
Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan in
the custody of Dominic ladder match.
Oh God!
Which was surprised to see it in the beginning of the match. I think it was right.
It all comes full circle. But
wasn't
anyway,
it like the first one?
What?
Wasn't it like the first match?
What are you talking about?
The heavyweight championship.
Was it? I don't remember if it was early.
I don't know, but we're talking about it now. But overall, I thought it was a fantastic match. Fantastic finish, south of heaven off the top rope. Not only do I feel like
that was great.
It's funny because I heard a lot of people talk about it, and but a lot of people didn't have a lot of faith in this match going into it. They felt like it felt like too much of a mid-card thing. Which I don't understand. I don't understand because both of these guys.
I understand where they're getting at. It's because they're both. You guys. Some of you might be like, "What the fuck?" But to be honest, it's two mid-card fighters fighting for a championship.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
It's just so looking at the card. I know Damian Priest, Jey Uso are great wrestlers. But looking at the card when I saw the heavyweight championship match, it just felt there was just no excitement. I was not excited for this match. There was nothing that drew me to it.
See, here's the thing, man. I like both of these guys. Despite all of the briefcase jokes that we made when he was in the Money in the Bank briefcase, I do truly like Damian, man. But overall, I think a lot of people were concerned about this match going in. And again, this freaking crowd, man. This French crowd, man. They made this feel like a main event match. Maybe, you know what? We talked about it before, the difference between American crowds and European crowds. I'm starting to think that, I'm truly starting to believe that the crowd has a lot more to do with it than maybe some people give credit for. Because they took a match that felt like a mid-card title match and made it feel like a main event title match.
No, that's absolutely true. That's the whole thing. A crowd can make or break a show.
It really can.
A lot of people don't realize that. Like that's like one of the first things people will always complain about when it comes to wrestling shows. They'll be like, "Oh, the crowd was dead. The crowd was dead." But like, yeah, a dead crowd kind of, it takes the wind out of the sails of the guys when they're coming out to the ring, and it's just like, if the crowd is dead, it's like they kind of, you don't get that same motivation you do when, if you're like in Gorilla and your music hits, and all of a sudden you hear this massive pop. You're going to go out there and you're going to put on the show of a fucking lifetime.
Absolutely.
But if you go on, like if you're about to go out, your music hits and the crowd really doesn't react much, you're just like, oh, now I have to step up everything I do to get them over. And if it doesn't work, you kind of get defeated after a while. It's tiring.
Yeah.
True.
But I have a good, I don't know if it's a reference to something, but I have something good with it. So we're just right now, obviously, right now talking about how they got a really mid-card title match to be huge, and that's the power of the fans. So I'll help with something with the little bit opposite of how you literally watch this match during the very first match. I forgot what WrestleMania it is, but the very first Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar WrestleMania
20.
WrestleMania 20. Those fans had everything to do with the fact that match felt boring and it felt dull and disgusting to watch.
The crowds immediately started chanting "boring."
Yeah,
like not even
and it's just
3 minutes into the match.
At the time, those were the biggest stars. Everybody loved them the most.
But you have to remember
it was just
what was
couldn't
happening.
be there.
You have to remember what was happening at the time. It was no secret that Goldberg was leaving, and that he was going to move on and like kind of just retire pretty much. And it was no secret that Brock was leaving to pursue a career in the NFL. No, it was the NFL.
Then the UFC.
And it was the NFL, and when he didn't make it in the NFL, he went to the UFC. And then he came back to WWE. But then it's like you've and you're looking at everything, the whole situation, it's like WWE knew what was going to happen. Like they knew the crowd was going to eat them alive. No one was excited for that match. This and that. So they threw Stone Cold in there as a special guest referee just to get something. Give the people something to cheer about. Which it was. And that's what it was. The entire night, during that match, everyone was booing or chanting boring and like this and that. And then the second Stone Cold hit both of them, I think he hit both of them with stunners.
He did.
Before they got out of the ring. I know he hit Brock first because Goldberg won the match. He hit Brock first. He rolled out of the ring. He did his thing with the beer, and Goldberg had a beer, and then he stunned Goldberg in the ring, and Goldberg left. It kind of as their last hurrah.
Was thought last second,
That was 100%, maybe a month or so before they decided, like, hey, let's involve Stone Cold in this, so this way the fans don't just boo the fuck out of it the entire night. At least give them something to pop about. But the crowd can very easily make or break a match.
I agree.
That's the moral of the story.
And my God, did they make this match?
Made the show.
They did. All right, let's.
And then we have
let's move
one
on.
last match to go over. We have Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles for the Universal Undisputed Heavyweight Championship. Obviously, we all predicted Cody Rhodes was going to win. That's what happened. It's Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles. Like, you can't expect a bad match there. But one thing I did notice that was referenced by, I believe, Michael Cole, AJ Styles was wearing the same ring gear that he wore in, I believe, TNA.
It was
when
TNA.
He fought Dusty Rhodes 21 years ago for the NWA Heavyweight Championship.
Holy shit, talk about a callback.
That's awesome.
But
whether it's the same exact gear or if it was a remake of the gear, either way,
it was a remake.
It was an homage to that night, which was like he just came full circle at that point. And like sometimes
That's
I forget that AJ Styles has been wrestling for a long ass fucking time.
Yeah.
I think about that too.
You know, a lot of people forget because like he only got to WWE less than 10 years ago.
In 2016, so like around 8 years
2016,
ago.
getting to 10 years ago at this point.
Close to 10 years. But, you know, it's...
He was in WCW before they shut down.
Yeah. He was in WCW, went to TNA, he was in Japan. I mean, the dude had a stellar career going all over the world.
So, there's one particular thing when I need to talk about this match, and again, I'd heard the conversation through online conversations and things like that. There are certain people out there who think that AJ is washed up. He's getting old.
No.
He's getting up there.
I mean, he's getting up there, and he's older.
He's well past his prime 50. And things like that.
But he still puts on a killer match. Like, there's no doubt about that.
Well, that's exactly what I was about to say, Dom. But then you look at this match with him and Cody Rhodes, and I have to sit there and I have to look at those people and I have to ask, man, are we watching the same guy? Yeah. Are we looking at the same dude? Like,
if you could still hit the phenomenal forearm and there's no difference in what your body movement is from 10 years ago, then you're perfectly fine, because that move seems really hard to do.
Scott, forget about the phenomenal forearm for a minute. This guy was pulling out burning hammers. He was pulling out he was pulling out moves that he hasn't done in years.
Exactly.
And he's doing it to perfection.
Yes.
My God, if this is what a washed up wrestler looks like, I hope I have a list of people who I hope become as washed up as AJ Styles apparently is.
I think the whole thing with AJ, they're saying he's washed up because he doesn't wrestle as often as he used to.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of that would get people to say he's washed up. Like, he's not wrestling every single week.
But at least he's there.
But he's there.
In the background. He's cutting promos. Like, at least he's doing something. Unlike previous ones who wouldn't show up at all.
But that's the whole thing. It's like you got guys... You guys got guys like him and Rey Mysterio who are, like, in their 50s. And they look like they wrestle the same way they did when they were in their 20s.
They're doing it better than some people in their 20s right now.
Yeah, I was going to say probably better than when they were in their 20s. But, and it's just the signs of being a smart wrestler and, like, knowing when to use, like, I swear to God, I'm having a fucking stroke.
It's okay. It happens to the best of us.
But,
a lot of guys in the business always say, you have a punch like a bump card, kind of like a punch card, right? You only get so many, so use them wisely. Don't fucking go taking stupid bumps just because. Don't, don't be like, unless you want to have a short career, don't be doing fucking crazy stunts like diving off the top of a cage into a table.
And using real glass. That's just stupid.
Or just falling down a flight of stairs just because it'll be good TV. Shit like that.
And looking, or maybe you looking like you haven't worked out in a bit and you have to jump over the midge and tear your quads.
Well, that's besides the point. That's a whole different scenario. But,
I feel like he's taking shots at somebody.
Anybody who does like deathmatch wrestling or anything like that. Like, if that's what you want to do, by all means, do it. But if you want like a long career, like Randy Orton, like Rey Mysterio, like AJ Styles, you gotta pick and choose your battles, like when to do some crazy shit.
Although
no, go ahead.
Let me say this. Now, I'm not disagreeing with you. I think you're absolutely correct.
Francis,
what's up?
But when it comes
opinions,
Cap's
literally.
I am literally talking, Scott.
Yeah, Cap's going.
I'm trying to motivate him while you're doing it.
Oh my God. But anyway, I absolutely agree with you. I absolutely agree with you, Dom. But here's the thing. AJ, at least from what I understand, during his time in TNA, he was in a lot of wild matches.
Absolutely.
That's
X.
the one thing. Though he's done how many Ultimate X matches at that point? This is a guy who has taken bumps in his career. He's been in how many ladder matches, steel cage matches, Ultimate X matches, and God knows what other matches this man has been in.
Yeah.
How?
No, I get what you're saying. My whole point is, being smart about it. And, he did it when he was younger, when he can bounce back a lot easier. Now that he's a little older, he doesn't do that kind of crazy stuff anymore. Because he doesn't need to. And even though he still does, ladder matches and stuff, you're not going to see him diving off a 20-foot ladder onto on the announce table.
No, you're not. It's the simple matter of fact of this. This dude is literally a bottle of fine wine. This man,
yes,
he only gets better with age, and
absolutely.
The day that AJ does finally hang it up is the day that my heart's gonna be so broken that day, man.
I'm gonna cry.
But my point being, there's certain guys like Randy, like Ray, like AJ, they were smart the way they did their stuff. They still put on amazing matches.
Absolutely.
And they worked their asses off to be where they're at, and to stay healthy and strong and in the right shape to do what they do.
While still having
Randy
entertaining matches.
He goes, "What is the ultimate?" So I remember someone years ago asked him, "What is your ultimate goal? Is it to get a certain amount of title wins and this and that?" He said, "No, it's to have a long career that's successful, and I could walk away at the end of the day without needing a wheelchair."
Like Sting.
Yeah. The fact that he's I want to be able to walk upright when I'm done.
He's gunning. He is gunning to have a Sting-like career. I think, to be honest
100%.
with you, doing this until well into his 60s.
I was gonna say Randy Orton is nowhere near done. The shape he's in, the only thing that might set him back is his back with the recent surgery and everything. But
I mean, to actually even reference this conversation we're having during his tag team match, during the street fight last night, he had a moment where he could have jumped off of a barricade,
and he
didn't. And he didn't.
Honestly, it was very funny to me. I thought that was hilarious.
I thought he was just memeing, but now that now that we're having this conversation, that is that level of intelligence being shown.
Yeah, I think it's the self-preservation and then the memeing on top of it. He's okay, I'm not going to do this spot, but I'm going to make it look like I'm going to do the spot, and then I'll get a big laugh out of it.
True.
Which he did. So, job well done.
Yeah.
But yeah. And obviously, when it comes to Cody as well from this match, I take absolutely nothing away from Cody. This man,
the guy puts on a clinic.
The man is a clinic of wrestling at this point.
It's so routinely amazing that you have to see it.
And everything he does is so crisp, and it's I don't want to say flawless because everyone makes mistakes, but the guy is as close to flawless as you can get with a lot of his stuff.
Amazing wrestler, immaculate storyteller.
And if you noticed, he's bringing back moves that no one does anymore.
That's true.
He brought in the short arm lock, which is no one does that anymore.
That's true. That's very true.
I was just watching an interview that he did. I think it was I don't know if it was the presser after Backlash or if it was a podcast he did that weekend. But he was talking about all the moves that people don't really do anymore. You don't really see being used anymore. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm bringing all these old moves back from back in the day." He's like, "I want to start using them again, making them relevant, make them credible, look good, stuff that hasn't been used in a long time." Oh, you know what it was?
Yeah.
I remember now. It was a WWE TikTok because they were like, "Oh, what's the most slept on move?" And he referenced the short arm lock and some other stuff. because like other guys like R-Truth made a joke like, oh, headlock or a sleeper hold and this and that, like, making like haha funny because sleep, but
I mean, you have to imagine that given the guy's lineage, you have to imagine he is a student of this sport.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. My point, like the guy, had the best possible upbringing to be in the position he's in.
It's true.
Learning from Dusty and Dustin and everybody who's mentored him along the way.
Randy himself,
all the tag team partners he's had. He's got a long list of mentors.
A lot of people forget he was in when he first started. He was in a tag team with Hardcore Holly.
Yeah.
Another phenomenal, technically sound wrestler.
He also had Dustin
Rhodes rookies with a passion
to watch wrestle, because Dustin Rhodes also did old time moves.
True.
That's the whole thing. And when you have your father as Dusty Rhodes, you learn a lot. Like, you're gonna learn from him.
Absolutely, man.
Everyone talks about a lot of the NXT guys like Seth and like Roman and everyone that kind of came up in that era. Dusty was the main coach down in NXT.
Yeah.
And they
a lot of them would say Dusty Rhodes would.
They call themselves Dusty Kids because that's what they were, and Dusty taught them and trained them well. And the promos, and you could tell in the promos, they all have like a very similar style of promo.
Absolutely.
Because they all learned from the same person, but that's fine. And look at where it got them.
Absolutely, man. So let me. By the way, though, Francis, once again, you've been quiet, man. What did you think of this match, man?
I already said everything I had to. Cody is an amazing wrestler, but an immaculate storyteller. There was no doubt in my mind he was going to win. AJ still made both him and Cody look like $1 million. 10 out of 10 would smash tits or get the fuck out.
Okay. Well, so here's one other question I got for you guys. Here's one last question I got for you guys, and then we'll start to wrap things up here. It's been 1 month into Cody Rhodes' title run. You guys tired of him yet?
Nah.
No, because he still hits it on the mic skills. What drags me, because he still hits it hard on the mic.
That wasn't like an actually serious question. I just thought it'd be funny to, I just thought it'd be funny to talk about that because of all the comments of, y'all are gonna get tired of his title reign in like a month and stuff like that. Well, here we are a month later.
So, Kat, we aren't gonna be wrapping things up because just like in the area of London, more towards England, they've always had rulers of kings and queens. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. The King of the Ring tournament starts tonight, I believe.
King and Queen.
King and Queen of the Ring tournament.
Get your shit straight, Cap.
Just call it the Queen of the Spleen, for God's sake.
I swear to God.
Oh my God. Did you just kick him? Did you actually just kick him from the show?
No, I just moved him.
Oh my God.
Yes, that was great. Francis, what did you feel?
Well, first I was afraid because I thought we crashed again. And then I realized,
were you petrified? Francis, were you petrified?
Clearly not, because I'm back, stupid.
Oh my God.
All right.
Yes,
Scott, I think he's a little young for that reference.
Yes, Queen and King of the Ring tournaments start up tonight on Raw.
I have some questions. While I will give you the entire listing right now. What it says on here, I don't know if this is what order it's in, but for the Queen of the Ring, we have Zoe Stark versus Ivy Nile, Shayna Baszler versus Zelina Vega, which is, I think Zelina is the current Queen of the Ring.
Yes, she is the
from last year.
It's like 2 years ago.
Lyra Valkyria versus Asuka. Valkyria, sorry. Versus Asuka. Io Sky versus Natalia, which I think has been in the NXT area for a bit. So glad to see her back.
Yeah, Natty's been killing it down in
True.
NXT right now. She's kind of like taking on like a mentor role down there.
First question for you guys. Who is the obvious favorite for this matchup?
Out of the whole thing?
That you would say?
Who
would you think, out of all the people I named, who do you think is the favorite for this match? For this title?
I'm gonna throw a shot in the dark here. I say give it to Natalya.
You know what? Same.
I say give it to Natalya. I think she is.
Yeah, I think Natty is like kind of the only one that really makes any sense right now because it's like what else has she done lately?
True.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Francis, do you think that's your opinion on the favorite? I'm not going to let you just say Natalya.
Natalya. Fuck you. No,
Any reason why you picked it?
With how long she's been with the company, I think it's time that they finally do right by her and start building her back up, especially with how good she's been doing at NXT. There.
All right. This is also my other question. I'll do the same two questions for each one. Who do you think, will there be a underdog, and how far do you think that person will go to surprise you?
Now that one I can't tell you because that's the booking thing, and I can't tell how they're going to book.
So
yeah, honestly, like,
you don't know, but there could be that underdog.
The way that people are being booked currently, I don't see anyone having like an underdog story, other than Zelina. But like she won it last time, so I doubt they'll make her back-to-back Queen of the Ring. Especially with how.
Yeah. Also, what about that question? Do you think Zelina puts up a fight for defending it, or you think she's like first out?
I think
it could be last round.
I was gonna say I could see her getting to the finals with Natty.
But I mean that you could, but it's hard when you're versing Shayna Baszler in your first round.
That's also true.
True.
All right. Yeah, I think the favorite would be Natalya. I would personally. I don't know. There's a lot of. To be honest, I would like to see Natalya win it. That would be my pick out of all of them. But I can't really pick an underdog like you guys say. But maybe Ivy now because Zoe Stark seems to be the person to like lose in big chances.
I'd say I'm gonna go on a limb. Say use this tournament to really show off Lyra. To be honest with you.
That is true. Yeah, she is like up and coming.
Really use this to, really elevate her. I think this is a good spot for her to really show her stuff, man.
Yeah, a lot of newcomers on this tournament. Very little,
True. All right, what about the men's side, Scott?
What about the king?
But no, I'll give you on the men's right now. So on the men's side, which seems, the names seem to be a lot better on this one, but Drew McIntyre versus Finn Balor, Kofi Kingston versus Rey Mysterio, Ricochet, your speed champion, versus the newcomer Ilja Dragunov. And this is the match which I think is crazy for a first round match because they had 3 banger matches before. Gunther versus Sheamus.
Ooh.
All right.
I was gonna say
who do you think's the favorite? Because there's a lot of big names here.
I was gonna say Ilja Dragunov, but now with Gunther in the mix, I wouldn't be shocked if it's Gunther.
You know what I say? I say it's gonna be. I'm gonna say
it's gonna be May
Gunther, but in the finals, or at least on the Raw side, we haven't figured out the SmackDown side of the King of the Ring tournament yet, folks. But because it hasn't been announced yet as of our time recording. But I say Gunther wins on the Raw side, and the final match is him and the Mad Dragon, Ilja Dragunov.
Yeah, that's a match I would pay good money to see.
That match, Ilja Dragunov, I feel with because my question would be next, who would you think is the underdog? And I would think it's very hard for Ilya Dragunov because this is this is crazy. Like, this is your first time in the WWE Raw SmackDown area, and you go into a King of the Rings tournament. So
you gotta go up against Gunther.
Nah.
So if he doesn't at least make it to the finals, even if he wins or loses, he has to make it at least to the finals to go off with a bang and not try to already hurt his, his name.
I think at this, I think it's harder to call him. I think it's
but it's going to be hard to go up when you go in, you lose first round. It's like,
I get what you're saying. I don't think he's going to lose in the first round, but
because Ricochet seems to.
I actually think it's hard.
He'll probably beat Ricochet and lose to Gunther in the next round.
I actually think it's hard to call him the underdog because I have followed Dragunov for a while. It's hard to call him the underdog in this thing because he is not an underdog.
Yeah. If anything, maybe Ricochet is the underdog.
Yeah, I would say Ricochet is probably the underdog in that bracket.
Which is weird for a title holder, but
being the speed champion, but still.
But yeah, no, man, I say Gunther versus Dragunov in the finals, and we will be seeing King Gunther at some point.
I believe so. Gunther is my favorite to win the entire whole thing of King of the Ring, simply for the fact of that's maybe what pushes him on to challenge for being because I won King of the Ring, using my privilege to challenge for the heavyweight championship, and he'll challenge Damian Priest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't even.
Also, let's be real. He ain't wearing no damn crown.
I see him getting the crown and cape and just stomping it out and saying it was obvious that I was going to win this whole thing with the people that were in this tournament.
Yeah, I won't be satisfied until I'm wearing gold again.
No, this man is not.
To be.
He ain't about no crowns and capes and shit like that.
Is he gonna go from being a Captain America villain to a Lord of the Rings villain?
Possibly.
Both at the same time.
Jesus fuck.
Oh God, beautiful, beautiful thing, man. And of course, we will let you all know when we find out about the SmackDown side of the King of the Ring tournament. Hopefully this week.
Oh, but
most likely next week.
Here's another question, because what's the likelihood that something happens between a good storyline between Rey's faction and Santos' faction? What's the chances of Rey Mysterio's match between Kofi Kingston gets interrupted?
Absolutely not. Bury the damn thing. I'm tired of all the Latino wrestlers fighting in the same damn story.
I also wouldn't be shocked if CM Punk costs Drew McIntyre his match.
It's true.
Well, that would be.
It's by all means possible. It's by all means possible.
Okay, that's good.
Punk has made it his mission to make Drew's life miserable, so
he's a griefer.
I would not be shocked, man. I would not be shocked. Anyway, folks, I believe we are going to wrap things up here. So, as per usual, please make sure to follow us on TikTok and Instagram at The Push Wrestling. You can also always follow us every single episode on our YouTube page at The Push. Be sure to like and comment and subscribe if you enjoy what we do here. We're having a blast doing all of these. And as I've said in our TikToks, we got some big plans coming up soon for the show. And we hope to have you guys with us. So that's going to be all for right now. So for all of us here at The Push, my name is Cap.
I'm Dom.
Not Bash.
And I'm Francis.
Ring that bell for me, Dom.